Hi there, it's Mike here from ATB Guitars in sunny old Cheltenham, and welcome to Mike's Q&A session. I'm not sure which number it is, but it probably doesn't matter. But we haven't done this for a while, and you've posted some really good questions, so let's get straight into it now. The first question is from Instagram now. This is from Saint Fearless, and this is quite a question. Saint Fearless says, if you got hold of all the 58 and 59 Vs and destroyed all but one, how much would that be worth? Okay. Well, first of all, that is not something I advise doing, actually. And I hope, St. Fearless, that you're not planning on doing this, because that would be a great shame. But it's an interesting hypothetical question. And I sort of think if you destroyed all the Vs apart from one, then in theory that one could be worth an extreme amount of money. However, I think by doing that, you'd also kill the market for them. So I sort of debate in my head whether it would be worth a huge amount of money if all the others were destroyed. One of the reasons being is that there's a lot of prices are gauged by comparative methods, i.e. This guitar's worth this because a similar guitar has sold for that. Now, if there's no comparisons, it becomes very tricky to put a value on a guitar. So I think that's a very difficult question to answer. It's an interesting thought experiment, I'll give you that, but I think the answer to that, it could go two ways. Your guitar could end up being fairly worthless, or it could end up being worth zillions. I wouldn't like to say, and I wouldn't like to really participate in this experiment too. But interesting question. So this is a question now from the Desperados UK, who asks me, I'd love to own a 76 Firebird, but from the pictures I've seen, they don't seem to have the same laminate construction as other Firebirds, despite their gold adornments. Is this the case? Okay, well, I'm not a huge expert in 76 Firebirds. That was like the bicentennial years, I seem to remember. But I have a feeling that they are not constructed the same as the original Firebirds. Original reverse body Firebirds were basically a plank of neck and body with the pickups mounted and the two wings glued on top of that. Whereas I think I'm right in assuming that the mahogany-bodied Firebird from 1976 is more like the traditional construction of a guitar, which is made out of a solid piece of mahogany and not with two wings bolted onto a straight-through neck. So yeah, they are different, that is true. Whether they sound different, it's interesting thought. I've never personally compared the sound of a 76 bicentennial Firebird with an original reverse body Firebird. Maybe somebody has, who might be able to comment in the comments below. But to answer your question construction-wise, yes, they are different. And value-wise, obviously, they're very different as well. A 76 Firebird is a good instrument, certainly, there's no doubt about that, but value-wise it's not up there with the original 60s reverse body Firebirds. Alright, this one is from Austin Canida, who asks me, is slab rosewood Fender neck higher market value than veneer rosewood neck? Okay, Austin Canida. Yeah, that's a good question. That is a question also which probably a lot of people are asking, and the answer to that is yes, they are. Slabboard Brazilian Strats Tellys are worth more than veneer board slab Tellys, Strats, and other Fender guitars like P basses, jazz basses, etc. There's no particular reason for that. The people just seem to prefer the slab. Well, one reason could be that when slabboard guitars first came out, when Fender first produced them, they produced them with a big, thick slab of Brazilian rosewood, and that is actually quite nice. The first Fenders in 58 was the first slabboard, actually, which we did have an example of a few years ago. 59, 60 slabboards are really quite thick. When veneer boards first came along in September 62, they were also reasonably thick, but then the thickness of the rosewood veneer gradually got thinner up until about 63, 64, when they got really quite thin. So I guess one of the reasons slabboards are considered more desirable is you get more Brazilian rosewood from it, I suppose. Again, sound-wise, I personally don't think there's any difference at all. I would defy somebody in a blind test to tell the difference between a 62 slabboard Strat and a 62 veneer Strat, all other things being equal. I don't think anyone, golden-eared musos or guitarists, would be able to tell that at all. But in terms of cosmetics and desirability, yeah, they do command a premium. And sometimes it's a reasonable premium as well, sometimes 15, 20% or so more. So yeah, if you have a slabboard Fender, then that's a nice thing to have. Okay, here's the last question. Very interesting question as well. This one is from Marcellus8344, who's asked us, what is ATB's official position on hanging vintage Gibsons on the wall long term? Okay, risk of neck warp. Okay, that's a good question. Our official position is fine. We do it here all the time. Over there is, which you can't see on the camera, but over there we've got all our vintage Gibsons, and they're all hanging by their neck on Hercules hangers, and they've been like that for ages, and we have never noticed any kind of neck warping whatsoever, and I don't think it would cause a neck warp either in reality. The only thing you need to watch out for when you're hanging guitars on hangers is the material of the actual hanger itself, because some of them will eat nitrocellulose. And if you have a vintage guitar, a Gibson or a Fender, you need to make sure you have a hanger which has got a nitro-friendly material or coating on it. Otherwise, you'll get little indentations where it's eaten into the nitro, and that's not a very nice thing to see, and not a very nice thing to feel as well if you do feel it. But as far as neck warping goes, I don't think that exists. I really don't. I know pretty much every other dealer in the vintage guitar business does exactly the same as what we do. And as far as I'm aware, nobody's reported any problems of neck warping. So in my opinion, I think it's perfectly safe to do. I hope that helps. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for your quite amazing questions this time. I hope you've enjoyed getting some of the answers for them, and I hope they've been of use to you. Please like and subscribe if you like what you hear and you wish to subscribe. Please follow us also on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And if you have any questions you want answered, then just comment below or just send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. And see you in the next one.